Understand, adopt, and responsibly embrace AI. The reality is, AI isn't locked inside any building. AI is quietly influencing everyone.
What's the future of AI would look like? Is AI something people should fear?
Yes, because the speed of innovation today surpasses everyone. Even people working in the field are scared by the.
It also sounds scary, right? AI can work, naturally becomes. Will it take my job?
So we have divided AI into four major layers, and this is only the beginning.
Hi, welcome to the Rangoli Show. Today we will talk about AI, Agentic AI, and future of work. Everyone is talking about AI. Some say it's the greatest opportunity of our lifetime. Others believe it is coming for our jobs. But what's really happening? In the next few minutes, we will explore the journey from mainframes to AI, uncover why the world is suddenly obsessed with agentic AI, and answer the question that's on everyone's mind: what does the future look like for me? Trust me, you will want to stay until the very end of this episode. Will AI take our jobs? Can machine think like humans? And are we witnessing the biggest technological shift since the internet? These questions are creating excitement, opportunity, and fear across industries. But to understand where AI is taking us, we first need to understand how we got here. In today's episode of the Rangoli Show, we are joined by Suraj Kumar, a technology leader whose journey spans from mainframes, core banking, RPA, process mining, and now artificial intelligence. Together, we will explore the evolution of technology, the rise of AI, and what it means for businesses and professionals, and whether the fear surrounding AI is justified or simply a misunderstanding of what's coming next. Hi, Suraj. Welcome to the Rangoli Show. How are you?
Hi Rangoli, I'm fine.
Today, people see you as a technology leader, but I'm curious, where did it all begin? Who is Suraj Kumar beyond the designation? All of us want to know.
Thank you for inviting me to the show. I genuinely believe these are the conversations we need to have today, because even if a few people leave this episode with the feeling that they are a little more hopeful, a little more curious, and a little less afraid of the future, then we have achieved something meaningful. Now, coming to your question, to be honest, my journey wasn't carefully planned. Like most engineering graduates, I didn't had any perfect roadmap. I simply took the opportunity that came on my way. An IT company visited our college campus for recruitment, and that became the beginning of everything. I started my career working on mainframes, supporting core banking systems for clients in the UK. I spent nearly 8 years there, building a strong foundation, not just in technology, but understanding how large businesses actually operate, learning more of the banking domains. And since I had a lot of domain knowledge, the industry began with a change around 2014. I got the opportunity to bring blueprint-based banking automation to India, back from UK. Looking at that was one of the turning points in my career, because it opened the door to a fascinating world of automation. From there, my journey naturally expanded into what we now call hyper automation. Not just automating tasks, but combining RPA, process optimization, and intelligent technologies to completely transform the way businesses work. And as I continued to learn, I became deeply involved in process intelligence and process mining. This is a discovery tools. I had the opportunity to work with major platforms like Celonis, Aris, Apromore, and the UiPath, learning organizations discover inefficiencies, improve their business processes, and identify new automation opportunities. And that quite naturally brings us to artificial intelligence. Because when you look at the evolution of technology, AI isn't completely a new chapter, it's simply the next logical chapter. First, we learned how to digitize work, then we learned how to automate work, then we learned how to understand work through the process intelligence, and today the question has become, how do we make systems intelligent, to think, to assist, and to even act? That's where much of my focus is today. helping organizations understand, adopt, and responsibly embrace AI while keeping pace with one of the fastest technological revolutions that our generations has ever witnessed.
I think many people watching today feel they are feeling behind, especially in the age of AI. Social media makes it seem like everyone has all the answer, but behind the scene, most people are still learning, adapting, and figuring things out. So let me ask you something more personal. Was there ever a time in your life when you genuinely did not know what's the future of AI would look like? Is AI something people should fear?
That's a really interesting question. And honestly, yes, there has been many moments when even I didn't know where AI was heading because the speed of innovation today surpasses everyone. Even people working in the field are scared by the overwhelming data. But over time, I started looking at it differently. I like to compare AI with the analogy of a dog. Understand how it behaves, learn how it works alongside. It becomes your loyal companion. It helps you, protects you, and enables you to accomplish things you never thought were possible. But if you're afraid of it and you keep running from it, that fear only grows eventually. It starts feeling like it's chasing you. And I think that's exactly what happens with AI today. People aren't afraid because AI is dangerous. They're afraid because they don't understand it. The reality is, AI isn't locked inside any building or limited to the technology companies. It's already part of everyone's life. Whether you work in IT or not, AI is quietly influencing everyone. All the domains like the healthcare, banking, education, transportation, entertainment, and other industries, everyone is embracing it. No one wants to feel left. So we are already living in the age of AI, and this is only the beginning. The future of economies, businesses, and even nations will increasingly be shaped by how well they embrace AI. The countries, the organizations, and individuals who learn to work with AI will create entirely new opportunities, drive innovation, and move ahead. Those who choose to ignore it may eventually find themselves struggling to keep pace. So, the question, do I fear AI? No. I respect it. Just as previous generations learned to live with computers, the internet, and the smartphones, our generation must learn to live and work with AI, because the goal isn't to fear technology. The goal is to understand it well enough to make it work for us.
Just 2 years ago, the whole world was talking about ChatGPT, right? Suddenly, everybody is talking about Agentic AI. Even Microsoft, Nvidia, many companies are just talking about AI. Startups are raising billions of funds around it, right? So, wanted to understand, enterprise leaders are preparing for it. So, help us understand what changed. Why has the conversation shifted so quickly?
I think that what people are witnessing right now is simply the natural evolution of artificial intelligence. Think about it in this way. The first wave of AI helped us create information. We could ask questions, generate contents, write emails, summarize documents, create images. We all played with it. That was an era of generative AI. But now we are entering into the next chapter, the agentic AI. We call it the agentic AI because it does a lot of work. And this changes something fundamental. Generative AI helps us to create work. Agentic AI helps us to get those work done. That's the difference. A tool like ChatGPT can answer your questions brilliantly, but an AI agent starts with a goal. It understands what you are trying to achieve, breaks that into objective, into smaller tasks, decides the best sequence, uses different tools when needed, collaborates with other systems, and keeps working with very little or minimal human intervention. In other words, instead of simply giving you an answer, it helps deliver an outcome. And that's exactly why the entire industry is so excited, because this isn't just another AI upgrade. It's a completely different way of thinking about work itself. And that's why this this shift is so significant.
Where does Agentic AI rank among humanity's greatest technological revolutions, according to you?
Personally, I believe we are living through one of those rare moments that future generations will study in history, because if you look back, every great technological revolution did one thing: it expanded human capability. If you see the steam engine, it amplified our physical strength. Computers amplified our ability to calculate. The internet amplified our access to information. Artificial intelligence now is amplifying our intelligence. But agentic AI goes one step further. It doesn't just get help us in thinking, it helps us to execute those tasks. It can plan, coordinate, take action, and help complete work for us alongside us. So that's why I believe agentic AI isn't simply another technology trend. It's a layer of human capability. And here's something fascinating. None of the earlier revolutions have disappeared. The steam engine still powers the industries, computers are essential, the internet still is required, and now AI is being built on top of all of them as the brain. Technology doesn't replace its previous revolutions, it builds upon it. And that's exactly what we are witnessing today.
You know what's interesting? Whenever a new technology appears, people either underestimate it or fear it. Very few people understand it. And I wonder, are we still understanding what AI agents can become?
Absolutely. In fact, I think most people still have a very limited view of what AI really is. For many people, it simply means a chatbot, something you ask question and it gives you answers, plain and simple. But honestly, we are only seeing the tip of the iceberg, the very beginning. Over the next few years, I believe we'll begin working alongside an entire team of AI agents. Imagine having your own AI assistant. One of them manages your calendar, someone summarizes your meetings and helps you make better decisions. Imagine an AI researcher working for you that read thousands of reports overnight and presents you with the insight that matter you most. Imagine software developer working for you, writing codes, testing on your behalf, and even fixing bugs, while you focus just on solving the business problem, taking meetings. Imagine an AI analyst that continuously monitors your businesses, spots patterns, and alerts you before the problem even occur. It can imagine and it can create twin systems. Imagine an AI fabric financial advisor or the project manager that coordinates tasks, tracks progress, and ensuring work keeps moving. Without constant follow-ups, managers need to orchestrate with employees alongside the AI agent employees. So multiple AI agents will collaborate with each other, just a team of people do today. One AI may conduct research, another may write code, the third may validate the result, and together they help humans solve problems faster than ever before. You see, we have amplified our performance manifold, which means the biggest transformation won't simply be in AI, it will be in the very way work itself gets done.
Okay, this sounds exciting, but honestly, it also sounds scary, right? Because the moment people hear that AI can work, naturally becomes, will it take my job? And I think that's the question everyone watching this video wants answered, even students, software engineers, consultant, everyone. So let's talk about.
That's probably the biggest question people are asking today. And honestly, I think we are seeing a fascinating divide between the generations of professionals. If you look at the younger generation, they are naturally excited about AI. Why? Because they are still building their careers. They see new opportunities, new possibilities, and a chance to create something new, entirely new. They are fascinated about it. For them, AI isn't a threat. It's a teammate, a fellow, a friend, a tool they can grow with. And now look at the professionals who have spent 10, 15, or 20 years of experience in their field. They are expert in their field. Their experience is very different. They are expected to work delivering great results while at the same time learning dozens of new tools, new concept that is coming every day. The pace is enormous. The new ways of working, they can feel overwhelming, especially when the pace of change keeps accelerating. But here's what gives me confidence. We have seen the history before. When computers came first, entered into industry like the banking domain, the manufacturing and the railways, many people were afraid. Some believed their careers were over. Some resisted the change itself. Some chose early retirement. And yes, some were left behind. But something else happened. The people who stayed and were willing to learn, even just the basics, the smaller steps, often became the biggest beneficiaries of the digital revolution. And I believe AI is no different. The future won't belong to the people who know AI today, it belongs to the people who will never stop learning, who stay curious, who stay adapted and willing to learn, who aren't afraid to begin afresh. Just as computers transformed the workplace decades ago, AI is transforming it now. The opportunities isn't in fearing the change, it's in learning how to work alongside it. If we truly understand where India has a unique opportunity, we realize something important. We don't need to beat the United States. They are doing great at building the next ChatGPT from scratch. We also don't need that. China's level of state-led AI investment, that's a huge. Instead, AI can become the world's best AI applicator and orchestrator. Just like we did in the software services, cheap, smart, and scalable, running parallel businesses while the West is doing their own, China is doing their own. I believe this strongly. AI builders and creators will earn big, but so will application creators back in India. Because here's the shift, models are built once, but applications can be built millions of times. Just like Indian youth ready to try anything, everything and anywhere. Think about the internet era. India didn't even invent those. The internet, the search engines, the smartphones, cloud computing, you name it, all is done by US and China. Yet India isn't built global IT services, massive digital public infrastructure. And I feel AI feels like the same opportunity it's giving again. Now we must understand something critical. The new AI stack. If we understand the fundamental layers of AI, we know better. So we have divided AI into four major layers. Layer 1 is the foundation model built by companies spending billions, for example, Anthropic. Those are powerful but centralized. If you see layer 2, open models like Llama, already world class and openly available. And this is key, India can build on top of them almost for free. The layer 3 is the agentic AI, and this is where the real opportunity lies for India. Instead of building models, we build agents on those models, like finding the gaps, creating GST agents, tax filing agents, agriculture agents, school teacher agents, and anywhere you can create an agent, AI agent. And here's the shift, the value moves from who has the best model to who solves the best customer problems. And the layer 4, this is the golden mine, like the domain intelligence. This is India's gold mine because nobody understands business processes better than Indians working across global delivery ecosystem for decades. And this layer is often most valuable than the model itself. Indians are working for decades for the West, so India doesn't need to compete heavily here at the infrastructure level in the beginning. Instead, we move step by step from models to agents, from application, just like the application revolution in software. And something interesting happens here. These systems become embedded, invisible, no one sees the logic or the complexity behind them. The only experience is the outcome. So if the business sees some value of their real pain problems, then they are ready to invest in it, and that India can bring back those values. India will take the global models, tune them, adapt them, extend them, and build AI agents for real world-class global use cases. And in that process, value flows back to India naturally. The Indian AI development model must be like the US, innovation-led, industry-driven, and ecosystem-based. And ultimately, we should not just focus on AI users. We must focus on building AI agents, creators.
Do you think the government should be doing more to help young people prepare for the AI era and catch up with the rest of the world?
I believe India should take a slightly different path. Not a heavy state-driven model like China. Instead, we can learn more from the United States, where we can imbibe more, where innovation is driven largely by the industries, entrepreneurs, universities, and businesses. And this approach tends to do something important. It creates faster innovation, better market alignment, and less wastage of resources. But that doesn't mean the government has no role. It absolutely does. The government should think about their role should be to build an ecosystem and to create an environment. There should not be any friction, not everything, but the foundation. Things like education, digital infrastructure, research support, and policies that encourage these innovation. The environment should be conducive, it should not create any friction, because the real momentum will come from individual startups and the businesses, but surely the government has its role to play to smoothen these things up. And if there's one thing I strongly believe about India's youth, they are incredibly resilient and deeply resourceful. Given the right tools and the right opportunities, they don't wait, they will learn, they'll adapt, and they will build. And if you see, the history has already shown us the patterns over and over again. Every time a major technology wave has come, Indian talent has risen with it. So whether you think East leads or the West accelerates faster, India's real strength will remain constant in its youth. So we should not be bothered by East or West. Not just policy, not just systems, but its people, their ambition, their adaptability, and the hunger to learn.
AI sounds incredibly promising, but it is so powerful. Why are not more organizations adapting it successfully? What are the biggest challenges can they be overcome?
That's a great question, because the biggest barriers to AI adoption are rarely technical, they are human. The first challenge is fear of change. People often worry AI will replace them rather than help them, and that's the reason they don't want to embrace these changes. They fear of the layoffs. Organizations need to clearly communicate AI is not just automation, it is augmenting their capability. The second challenge is the lack of skills and awareness. Many employees don't know where to start. The leaders struggle to separate real opportunities from hype. So the solution is simple, but it's difficult to be persistent. It's the continuous learning and practical exposure, not just theory. And the third challenge is data quality, because AI is only as good as the data it learns from. It has its own context, own history, and it works on those data. And today, many organizations still have fragmented systems, inconsistent processes, and incomplete data. Before AI transformation, data and process discipline must come first. And we as a country and as an industry should follow the West. The fourth challenge is unclear business value. Many companies start with technology and then they search for problems. But the successful one does the opposite. They start with a problem and then ask if this AI can solve this. The fifth challenge is trust and accountability governance. Leadership needs confidence that AI is secure, transparent, and compliant with their processes, their governance system. So strong governance and human oversight becomes essential more than ever. And finally, the biggest challenge of all is the mindset. Every major technological shift is hindered or stopped by people who are working in those environments. Like the computers, the internet, automation, they all faced resistance initially. And history shows us something simple. It was never the smartest who succeeded first. It was the most adaptable, most persistent one. So how do we overcome AI adoption challenges? This is always simple: to start small, prove value quickly, build confidence in the business stakeholders, and then it will automatically scale, because ultimately AI transformation is not a technology journey, it's a people journey.
What is one thing that you think most Indians don't fully appreciate yet, but the West has already understood?
One thing the West has done exceptionally well is building strong systems, platforms, and processes across industries, whether it is healthcare, banking, logistics, or technology. They have spent decades building digital ecosystems. They are not only innovative, but they are governed by strong standards for security, for privacy, for data management. And here's something interesting: many of those companies that build these systems cannot even fully showcase their capability, everything they can do. They have huge data, but they cannot showcase that data talent, because they operate under strict governance framework, and they really understand that. They understand this very clearly. Trust is not built by using data, it is built by protecting it. And if you see now in India, we have no shortage of talent, creativity, or ambition, but we often underestimate something very important: our data. Our information is scattered across systems, across organizations and platforms with uneven structure and governance. And no one is really bothered to fix this. And ironically, while our data is fragmented locally, a large part of it is already being stored, processed, and leveraged by global companies. And they are making good use of it. Now, the opportunity for India lies here. It is massive. We don't need to reinvent everything or build everything from scratch. We need to create data centers to organize these data. And if we can just do one thing well, organize our data, strengthen governance, and build trusted digital ecosystem, we can unlock something powerful. We can use the world's best technologies and still build solutions uniquely suited for the Indian scale. Because data is the new infrastructure, the government can have all these regulations. They can give these data for our youths to play and to test their AI agents. And countries that manage it well will unlock the next wave of innovation. And for India, the real advantage comes when we combine those talent with well-governed, high-quality data. That is when we build solutions, not just for India, but for the rest of the world. And perhaps the next step is simple. Our government builds strong data infrastructure, data centers, secure access systems, and governed environments, so youths and innovators can safely build, test, and ship their AI agents on top of it. Because the future of AI will not be just about the models, it will be about the data along with trust and access.
I think one of the biggest problems today is not lack of information. It's information overloaded. Everybody has framework, and honestly, people are overwhelmed. Students are confused. Professionals and leaders are also confused. So let's simplify this. What skills will actually matter in the age of agentic AI?
I think we often focus too much on learning the latest tools, but tools will keep changing. 10 years ago, we learned mainframes, the ERP system, and the process mining, the cloud, and so many other tools for all these technologies. And those keeps on changing based on different criteria, based on the subscription model, based on the pricing, but the underlying skill that creates value stays surprisingly consistent. In the age of agentic AI, 5 skills which matter ever more. These are human skills. The first is the problem solving. AI can give answers, but humans still define the right problems to solve. The second is the critical thinking. As AI generates more content, the real skill is to question it, validate, and apply judgment to those answers. The third is the communication and collaboration. Because the future is not humans versus AI, it's the human working with AI and the humans who are not working with AI. Those who can translate ideas into action will stand out, and those who cannot will be left behind. Fourth is the domain expertise. AI may know a little about everything, but deep understanding of business, industry, and the customers will still be major differentiator. And finally, the human curiosity and continuous learning, because the people who will thrive are not the ones who knows everything today, but the ones who can keep adapting for tomorrow. So if I had to summarize it in one line, in the age of AI, technical skills will help you start, but human skills will make you indispensable.
You know, Suraj, when people talk about AI on social media, it's usually about tools, new chatbots, new models, new announcements. But I imagine the conversations happening inside organizations are very different. Boards are discussing events, and even CXO and transformation leaders are discussing about AI. So I'm curious, what are enterprises actually thinking about right now?
I think organizations today are excited but are also very cautious at the same time, because AI brings enormous opportunity, but at the same time it raises concerns, important questions, and the questions around governance, trust, security, and responsibility. So companies are asking things like, how do we use these AI safely? How do we protect our data? How do we ensure accuracy? How do we build trust? And these are no longer side conversation. These have taken place in core boardrooms discussion today. These are essential talks.
So, despite all the excitement, there is also uncertainty.
Absolutely, because technology alone isn't enough. Organizations need people, processes, and governance. That's where transformation becomes important.
If we could secretly walk into the boardroom of a Fortune 500 company right now, what do you think the leaders are most worried about?
I would say probably three things. First, how to stay competitive. Second, how to adopt AI responsibly. And third, how to prepare the workforce for the change that is coming. Because technology moves faster, but organizations move through people. So the more people embrace the changes, the more the industry will move faster.
Do you think some companies are making the same mistake they made during the internet era, waiting too long, assuming this is just a hype?
History shows us one thing very clearly. Organizations that adapt early often create a real advantage. But at the same time, rushing in without a clear strategy can also create risks. So, the real answer is to balance.
Let's talk about mistakes because sometimes we learn more from mistakes than success. What are organizations getting wrong about AI today?
One common mistake is focusing on technology alone. AI transformation is not just a technology project, it's a business transformation. And another mistake is expecting instant results. That is not realistic. Real transformations need culture, skill, persistence, and long term thinking.
You know what is interesting? People often assume AI transformation is about replacing humans, but I wonder if the bigger challenge is actually helping humans adapt.
Absolutely. Technology is usually the easier part, but change management is often the harder part. And organizations are facing difficulty to embrace those because transformation is ultimately about people.
Do you think every company in the future will eventually have digital employees, AI agents working alongside humans?
I think you'll clearly see more collaboration between human and the AI systems. The exact shape may vary across industries. It will take shape as we move further, but one thing is clear. AI will increasingly become part of our daily life. This is for sure.
That's amazing because perhaps future org chart won't just contain people, they might contain AI agents too, right?
Absolutely. And the leaders will need entirely new ways of managing work because in the future, they won't just be leading people, they'll have to lead people alongside AI agents because AI agents are working like employees. So they'll have to orchestrate among the AI agents and the employees.
Which brings me to something very personal because we have talked about the world, about technology and companies. But I want to talk about people, about fear, about uncertainty, about hope. Because somewhere, someone watching this episode right now is feeling left behind. Maybe they are overwhelmed, they are anxious, and they think they are too late. And I think that's where wisdom matters more than technology.
This is an important question. Technology may augment intelligence, but meaning, purpose, and values remain deeply human. As we already talked about this, will definitely take a lot of time to embrace these, but these are truly human values because it becomes more valuable here in the age of AI.
We have spent this entire conversation talking about AI, technology, careers, and the future. But if we are honest, beneath all these topics lies something deeply. Many people today are carrying a quiet fear, the fear of being left behind, the fear that the world is changing faster than they can keep up. Some are just starting their careers, others are trying to reinvent themselves after years in the workforce. Some are questioning their choices, some are simply exhausted by the pace of change. So, for anyone watching this video feels uncertain, overwhelmed, or a little lost right now, what would you like to say to them?
If I could say one thing, you don't need to have the entire life figured out. The truth is, most people do not know all the things. When we look at successful people, you usually see destination. We rarely see the doubts, the setbacks, the wrong turns, or the moment when we had no idea. what came next. Life isn't meant to be solved all at once. It unfolds one step, one decision, and one lesson at a time. Sometimes all you need is courage to take the next step. Keep learning, stay curious, be patient with yourself. And more importantly, don't measure your journey against someone else's timeline, because each one has their own speed, pace, and their own ability. The world may be changing rapidly, but your adaptability to adapt, to grow, and to keep learning is far more powerful than you realize. Trust the process, because your story is still being written and you can write it differently with the help of AI.
That's beautiful because social media has convinced us that everyone else has life figured out. But behind the scenes, most people are still learning, growing. What's something you believed 10 years ago that you no longer believe today?
Perhaps the biggest thing I have changed my mind about is what success really means. Earlier, I thought success was about titles and achievements, but over time, I've realized success is much more than personal, much more personal. It's more than accolades. It's about growth, it's about impact, it's about human relationship, and ultimately, it's about living and a meaningful life.
Imagine it's 2046 and an older, wiser Suraj Kumar meets the younger Suraj who is just beginning his career. What would you say to him?
I would probably tell him, don't rush, don't compare. Be patient with yourself, trust the journey, keep learning, and remember that life isn't a race. Because some of the things you are worrying about today won't matter as much as you think.
Let's start rapid fire round, Suraj. What do you mean by success if you have to explain in one word?
Fulfillment,
About leadership,
responsibility,
AI,
opportunity,
failure,
teacher,
about fear,
temporary,
and curiosity,
growth,
happiness.
balance.
Suraj, technology will keep changing, AI will keep evolving, but people will still be searching for purpose, success, and a meaningful life. So, if you could leave just one message behind for students, professionals, leaders, women change makers, and anyone trying to navigate an uncertain future, what would it be?
My suggestion will be to never stop learning and never stop to being curious. Technology will evolve, industry will evolve, and the world will continue learning. But human potential is extraordinary, and no matter how uncertain the future may look, remember this: adaptability, kindness, and continuous learning will always matter. Because the future doesn't belong to those who know everything, it belongs to those who never stop learning.
That's perfect because perhaps that's the real message of this conversation. The future is not something to fear, it's something to prepare for. And maybe the greatest skill we can develop is the courage to keep evolving. Suraj, thank you so much for joining us on the Rangoli Show today.
Thank you, Rangoli. It was a wonderful time being here, and I really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much once again.
And to everyone watching this video, if this conversation gave you even one new perspective, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because in a world changing faster than ever, perhaps the most powerful thing we can do is keep learning together. I am Rangoli Jaiswal, and this is the Rangoli Show. See you in the next episode.